Oh, Okay, guys. Sorry if that wasn't super straightforward, but hopefully most of you had an attempt at it. So we're trying to solve this problem here. And in fact, to do that, why don't we have a look at doing the code for it? That is not what we want. Okay, so first of all, it says on our thing here, it says Ashley wants to store the temperatures for each weekday. Please store the values in a list. So we're going to remember how to do a list. So we'll say we'll have to have a suitable name for it. So maybe something like temps makes sense. So just like a variable, it needs an identifier. And then to assign values, same as before, it'll be an equals. But where before we might say equals 5, and now temps is storing the value 5, we want to store multiple values. So you have to use square brackets, and we'll say 5, and each of the values is separated by a comma. So it'll be 5, 8, 6, 9, 10. And what's happened now is that inside here, in fact, I can just type them out, 5, 8, 6, 9, and 10. We've actually stored the values in each of these positions. Remember again that the first position is actually at index position 0. Okay, so we've done that. What's next? The next thing it says, Ashley made a mistake. It was actually 6 degrees on Tuesday. So can anybody see if I want to change Tuesday, so this value, what position do I need to change? What position will I need to change for Tuesday? Thank you, David. That's quite right. It'll be number 1. So we'll go temps. Because it's a list, to access this contents, we want to use square brackets. And then we'll put in here the position. So because Tuesday is this one here, position 1, that allows us to access it. But now we want to copy a value into it. So we'll say equals, and we'll equal it to, what do we change it to? 6. So 6 will get put in here. And now what will have happened if we go and quickly look down at my my iPad, hopefully this will be clear. There we go. Is that now what's going to happen is that instead of this containing 8, by saying temps at position 1 is 6, this will now have disappeared, and instead we'll now be storing 6 in this position. Yeah, it would have overwritten what was in there. Okay, let's go back to the rest of it. So the other thing it says, please use a loop to print out the contents. We know there are 2 types of loops. There are for loops and there are while loops. Now, does anybody remember what, sorry, maybe I structure the question a bit better. For a for loop, it's when it's count controlled or we know how many times we want it to go around. For a while loop, it's logical controlled and then it's indefinite. We don't know how many times we're going to go around. If we're using a for loop, if we want to go through each item, do we know how many items we want to go through? So yes, 5 items. We want to go through 5 times. So we want to step through this 5 times. And so we're going to need to use our logic about how we might actually write that. So for, what's next? Well, we need to have, maybe actually this would be a good opportunity to go back. So I've given you this list one here, but when I set the assignment, which you'll see in a moment, there's all the other cheat sheets as well. So it's a really good time to remind you. So this is for loops. So it will be the purple one. So if you remember, there's this. So you can say for in range. So for I, oops, why don't we just make this as big as I can? There we go. It's a bit wonky, but never mind. So you've got for I, which is your counter, in, and then this is how many times. So this will go around around 4 times. 0, 1, 2, 3 in this case. For us, how many times are we going to want it to go around? So we've got 5 items. So there you go. For I for I, or we can even say C, it doesn't really matter, or X. For X in range, remember the X, the I, or the C is just a variable for our counter range. And if we say 5, and then it's colon, and that will go around 5 times. And then we can say print, and if I said temps, square brackets, 0, I'll give you a moment. Do you think that's going to do what I want it to do? Like, is that going to print out all the different numbers? No. You're right, Henry. Does anybody know what it will do? That's exactly right, David. Writing it like this, it's going to loop around. It's going to loop around this 5 times, but printing out whatever's in the first box, i.e. at index 0, every single time. So, what do I have to put inside that box? What do you reckon I have to do differently? What do you reckon I have to put in differently? Okay, so I'll put 1 in that box. Has that fixed my problem? No. Okay, so now what's going to happen? It's going to print out the 8 5 times in a row, right? So what do I put in here? I need to make it go up by 1. So I need it to be 0, and then 1, and then 2, and then 3, and then 4. So you need to recap. Do you remember when we did loops? So if we come back to this one here, what's going to happen? In fact, let me zoom in here. If you remember, what's going to happen is when I'm writing 4, and I've said, what have I said? I've said X in range 5. Here's how it's going to work. Let's see if I can get that even bigger. Sorry for my terrible handwriting. The first time around, the loop goes around. X will be equal to 0. Okay? And the loop will go around, and then X will be equal to so in a for loop, the counter starts at that number, in this case 0, and it's going to go up by 1, and then X will be X will be 1. There you go. And then it will go around again, and it will increment each time going up by 1. X will be 2. X will then be 3. So as it loops around every single time, it's moving it along by 1 until finally we get to the last one, which is X equals 4. It won't go up to 5. And the reason it won't go up to 5 is it's not saying it's going up to 5. It's saying it's looping 5 times. And if you see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. Okay, so let's come back to our problem here. I'm not going to put 1 in there, or 0 in there, or 4 in there. I'll put X in there. Okay, and so what will happen is that, oh, in fact, let's go back to where I was. In fact, if we come back to here, we'll see that the first time around, it will say X in range, it will go print temps 0. So it will print, you can see up here what's in 0, it's 5. And then print 1, and then it will print 8, right? So when I run this, it will go through and print each of the items. Okay. If you aren't too sure about this, it's a great opportunity now for you to actually get some of this information down, because we're going to move on to other questions, but we're going to park that for a moment so that you can actually answer this first question. So what I'll do is I will share on Teams. In fact, you've already got it. If you go to your team, so down to year 10, maybe I'll just turn this off and I'll share. If you're on YouTube, you won't see this bit because this is directly through Teams. If I share this is my Teams. We'll go to year 10. So you'll go to your 10 group and go to assignments. And the assignment we want to do now is the list arrays worksheet. List arrays worksheet. When you click on there, you can see some of you have looked at it. Henry was asking earlier, so if I click on his, what you'll see is you'll see this worksheet that you can edit, but you've also got the different cheat sheets. And see here, that's the first question. Oh, there you go. And in here, Henry has put his answer. So temp equals 5, 8, 6, 9, 10. Temp 1 equals 6, which exactly went through here. And then print, and we haven't quite got to it, so he can now use my solution to actually put his answer in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to what am I going to do? Yeah, we're going to show the big, I'm going to share, let my iPad stay there for a moment, not my iPad, my Windows stay there for a moment so that you can view it. And then you'll be able to use this to put the information on here. So you need to go to your sheet, that's yours, and then paste in or write in the solution, which I will now share with you guys again. So I'll stop sharing the assignment, and then you guys can go to the assignment and actually put in the solution to the question there. Okay, so I'm going to start looking through and see who actually has not had a look at it so far. So Ramel, you haven't viewed it so far, so let me know if you need any help. I'll just make a list of students in case they need support. Bailey, you've not looked at it yet. Victor, you've not looked at that sheet yet, so can you please go look at the assignment? Carlos has looked at it, but he's not actually in the list. What the? Okay, fine. Salah, you've not looked at the sheet, the assignment yet, so let me know if you need any help. Josh, you've not quite looked at the sheet yet, so let me know if you need any help. Yeah, basically I'm saying the code I've got there, you can copy that and paste it down for that first answer, because then we'll go on to another one. So I'm very happy. Oh, I'm sorry, Ramel. So when you clicked on it, it just says, so when you go to your assignment, it just says that something went wrong. Because I can see you viewed it now. Is that when you type on it, or? Maybe one of the things you can do is, like, somewhere near the top, there's a refresh button, like in the top right, if you're using a iPad, not using iPad, using a Windows client or using it in a web browser, I think it will say Meet, but there's also like this circle, there's a reload tab. So if you click reload, maybe that'll help. Let me know if that helps. If not, I'll see what else I can think of. Yeah, that's not a good sign, is it? So when you click reload, what happens? Does it keep doing it again? Gosh. How about I do this, Ramel? How about if I email you the sheet directly, right? Is that the latest version? Yeah, if I email you the sheet directly, and then you can email me back. That's so random. Give me a second. Aaliyah, I don't know if you can talk to Sarah. She's saying she can't get into the group, but it doesn't make any sense to me why she shouldn't be able to. Oh, part B, you're not doing so far. I'm about to go talk you through part B. Let me email this thing to Ramel. And then I'll be with you guys. Okay, I've sent it your way, Ramel. Sorry for the delay. Let's have a look through the assignments, make sure that everyone's actually made a start and getting it done. So Billy, good man. Do you know what I'll do? I'm going to talk you through the next section, and as I talk you through the next section, I'll be able to monitor your progress. Okay, so let's go back to the next one to do. So in fact, let's go here. So here's the next problem. Okay, so in here, it's an extension of what we just did. This time, Ashley wants to write an algorithm that goes through the list of the temperatures. So she's recorded all these temperatures, Monday to Friday, and she wants to step through the list. You can use the same for loop as last time, and you got to calculate 1, the average temperature, B, the highest temperature, C, the lowest. So you're going to have to use selection. You're going to have to use if and else statements for the averages, for the highest and lowest. For an average, how do you make an average? Well, you've got to have a total them all up, divide by the number of items. And then another extension, which is create another list with the names of the days and return the day, the lowest and highest temperature. So instead of saying the lowest temperature is 6, say the lowest day happened at 6 at, I don't know, on a Tuesday, for instance. I think here's what I'll do. I don't want to give you, what shall I say? I'll say this. Where were we with the... I want to give you a little bit of time to actually have a go at that yourself. So I'm going to say 4 minutes to attempt it yourself. And then I'm going to start about halfway, and then I'll see, and I'll give you a little bit more time. So actually, in that case, I'm going to do halfway. I'll do 3 minutes to let you get a start to it. Okay, you're very welcome to use the iPad. You're very welcome to use and extend what you've already done. Thank you, Ruben. That's good. I'm just going through your work, guys. Bailey, you're just missing out. You've not actually assigned the list. So you're missing out the first list. Remember, it says you need something that says temps equals and then assign it all the values. Victor, you want to put an equals between temps and the square brackets to allow you to initialize it. Thank you, Henry. That works. Carlos isn't here. Salah, do you need help to make a start? Because I can see you haven't actually done anything so far. Oh, and you've left as well. Nice. Mohammed, that looks good to me. The only thing I would say is that when you say prints lower down, there's not iPrints, just prints, P-R-I-T-S. It's prints with an S, and temps needs to be spelled the same way as you did it before with a capital T, and you've got an M, not teps. So it all needs to be spelled the same way. Okay, Awais, I think if you go back to the YouTube video, you can follow it from the start. That's fine, David, as in you can logically understand it, but you can't write the syntax. So it's good that you've given you time to think about it. And then what we'll do in a bit is we will... I still think you'd use a for loop. Like, it's a for loop, I think, where you do an if statement inside. David, it's good thinking, though. But we'll do it in a second, and then I'll show you how to make a start on it. Josh, when you say for x in range 5, then you say print temps 1. That's going to print out the temperature 8 5 times. Whoop. Okay, let's go back to actually the problem. So we want to, in this algorithm, calculate the average temperature, the highest temperature, and the lowest temperature. Let's just work on A, B, C for the moment. So I'm going to do A and B, and then it will leave you with an opportunity to try and solve C yourself. So A, well, we don't need to. I suppose, yeah, I need to. If I've changed that to 6, I'll just change it up here. There you go. That's the new values. I need a variable to keep track of the total, and a sensible name for that might be total equals. I'll need to initialize it as 0. Yeah, I'll look at it in a sec. Let me see if I can get this done right. So total equals 0. And then what's going to happen is I don't want to print out all the temperatures anymore. I want to keep adding them to the total. So I want to say, I want to get the total and then plus the temperatures as I go along. So total, which starts at 0, plus 5, plus 6, plus 9. Now that's actually got a big bug in it. Oops, that is not a good idea. Well, I thought it was a good idea, but it was not. Oh, flip. There you go, fixed. Does anybody know what the bug is? I've made a really big logical error here. Can anybody identify to me what that logical error is? So you initialize the total as being 0. And in here, I'm then saying, for instance, the first time it would be 5 plus 0. Okay, give me 1 second, guys, so I can email Salah his work. And then I'll do your attendance based on you submitting me the answers back. If you can't watch over here, you can watch a course on YouTube and then do the answers that way. That's just fine. But obviously not attempting it is just not acceptable. You know that, right? I will forward the one I sent to Ramel to you, Salah. There you go. Enjoy. Right, where were we? Yeah, so in here, the first time this is going to run, x is 1. Thank you, Victor. X is 0, rather. And it will say 5 plus 0. And then it will go around, and then it will say 6 plus 0, because we need to store, not only do we need to calculate the new total, we then need to assign it back to total. Otherwise, you're just losing it. So in here, I have to say, and as Victor exactly just said, well done, Victor. In fact, do you know what? I need to award 3 students to get a green. I think that's one for you there, as in we tag you in green if you think you've done really well, Victor. So thank you so much for that. Total equals total plus temp. And as it goes around, it's going to keep adding to the total. So when I run it, it looks like nothing's happened. But as we go around, it is calculating the total. Because at the bottom, I'll have to say print total. And when I run it, it's then going to actually give us the new value. Now, did we want to find the total? Yes, as a stepping stone to find the average. So I can say total divided by 5. And there you go. That's our average temperature. So that's A. Now, for B, if we read down here, it says we also want to know the highest temperature. Okay, the highest temperature. So I want to check on each of these temperatures, each of these temps X, and I want to check if it's the highest temperature. Does anybody got a suggestion for me about how I'm going to check if that's the highest temperature? How am I going to do that? Any ideas? Any suggestions as to how I might be able to figure out if this is the highest temperature? Okay, here's my suggestion. You want to use a if statement every time it goes around. Right, really, yes, something like that. Do you know what, David? I think you're a preliminary green. Thank you for your contribution. If temp is what? Is the biggest. Well, how do we figure out if it's the biggest or not? Good question. I will have highest here. I'm going to say the highest is 0 degrees. None of my temperatures, all my temperatures are higher than that. But I'll say if the temp at position there is bigger than highest, what should I do? Any suggestions? What should I do? So if it's bigger, so if 5 is bigger than 0, so 5 is bigger than my highest, any suggestions? What should I do about that? What do you reckon, guys? That is so close to being right, Sikander, but is wrong. Still wrong, but very close, Sikander. Because what that's going to do is it's going to just add whatever the new temp is to the highest, and you'll have a running total. You don't want a running total. At the end of all this, I want it to be 10, right? Because that's the highest. I don't want it to be like, it's 5 plus 6 plus 6 plus 9 plus 10. In fact, I can do that if you want. I can demonstrate what that will look like. Often this is a really good way, actually, of programming, is you're like, maybe it's this, right? And then, there you go, David. I said you were preliminary green. That gets you greened. Well done, David. Yes. Let's print what's going to happen here. So if I run this, it's now going to give me this, right? What I want to do is if it is there, we'll say highest equals tempx, right? And now it's coming up with 10. Is 10 the right answer? Yeah. People, I've not done C. I've not done D. Guess what? I would like you to do both of those for me. Last time I did this, it blew. We're getting somewhere. I just need to get rid of the camera. I'm going to leave this one up like this. I'm going to give you, what should we say, 5 minutes. Because you don't only need to, because some people might be struggling to do this, but I also want you to try. In fact, I'm going to say more than 5 minutes. I'm going to say, how much of the lesson we got left? We still got 25 minutes. I'm going to say 10 minutes. If you get it done faster, you can go on to do the next question yourself. But that's 10 minutes now for you to try and do it. And but during that time, I'm not going to move on, but I'll be going through your work to see how you guys are getting on. Okay? So where was I? Let's refresh all this. I think I got down to Josh last time. So like I say, you want to solve it in REPL or whatever IDE you want to use, and then you need to paste it into the assignment because I'm viewing it on your assignment. So I was down to Josh, I think it was. Like I say, Josh, for your fourth line, when you say print temps square brackets 1, that's not right. You want to go print temps square brackets x. Otherwise, you'll print out the second number every single time. So for this one here, I don't know if this is going to work or not. But I'm going to do in your feedback how to do it differently, and hopefully it comes through. What you want to do, though, instead of just writing it out and copying it, is you want to actually write it in REPL so you can test it, see if it works. Platon. Yeah, Platon, you need to declare your array. So you've missed out that. So the first bit, you've just said temps1 equals 6, but you never declared what temps was. So you need to declare it at the beginning. Henry. Right, okay, that works. You're question 1, and now you're on question 2. Oh, there we go. Yeah. You just need to figure out how to do the next one. Yeah, so you need to use X instead then, Josh. Okay, Victor, and I'm sure now you're working on question 2, so thank you for getting question 1 done. Nice one, David. And now you're on question 2, I'm sure. Away, so you're going to email me your answer, so obviously it's not here at the moment. Good, Aaliyah, I like that. The only thing I would say, though, is, Aaliyah, you see where you've gone... I'm looking at your sheet right now. You said temps equals square brackets 1 equals 6. That's one too many equals. In fact, you know, I'm going to stop sharing this. I'm going to just view your guys' thing so I can show it. So I'm now showing you your guys' work, so it should be easier to see. Aaliyah, can you see that? Brilliant. So that first line, perfect. This one here, though, it's not temps equals square bracket 1. You want to delete those equals. So it's temps at position 1 equals 6. Right? So you need to just delete the equals. The rest looks good. And now you're on question 2. Yeah, Sarah's not here at the moment. Ahmed. Temps, you've initialized it. Yes, yes. Are you stuck about what? Do you try and remember what to put in here, Ahmed? You there, Ahmed? Wicked. So hopefully you can see that. You've said for x in range 5, total equals total. But you're doing question, right now here, you're doing question 2. You're mixing up question 1 and question 2. For question 1, it was supposed to be just print. Whoops, where was I? Oh no. That's weird. Print x. So just print it out. The total is for this, is for question B. You see that, Ahmed? So total isn't for this one. Total is for the next question that we're currently working on. So this, all the stuff you're doing now. Okay, brilliant. Marley, you've initialized your array and not done anything else. What's the deal, Marley? You there? Remember, if you're stuck, Marley, or you're not too sure what to include, you can always go back on the stream and to do it. You there, Marley? So that's the link to the YouTube live stream. You obviously have to scroll back because currently I can only see that you've declared the array and nothing else. Well, you can see what I'm sharing. So I'm sure you've done more, Marley. You're a really hardworking young man, but I just can't see anything here. So if you're stuck, please use the stream and you can go back and have a look at it. And if you've not stuck and you submitted it and there's a problem, please let me know. Ben. Yes, yes. Yes, good. Ooh, yes, well on the way. You don't need to, I mean, you're welcome to, Ben, but you can do all within the original for loop. You don't need to have a second. Ooh, nice. Well, I look forward to getting there. Is Archie here? No, sad times. Musa, you on there right now? Musa, you there? Wicked. So can you see this? How well can you see this? I'm sharing your work right now. I don't know how well you can see it, though. Musa, can you see? Yeah, brilliant. Okay, so you see here, you did the same thing that Aliyah did. You've introduced an additional equals. So for that, it's not temperature equals square brackets 1 equals 6. It's just literally temperature square brackets 1. So you're saying at position 1, so 2 in, equals 6. So it's like that, right? And then here, that is just going to print. In fact, that's going to cause a syntax error immediately because you're saying print the position 5 of temperature. So that's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. There is no position 5, so it will fall over. But even if you put in, say, 4, it's going to break as well because it's going to not do what you wanted because it will print out 10 every time. You want to put in C because you want to go 0, then 1, then 2, then 3, then 4. Okay? So I'll return that to you to fix. You're very welcome, Musa. Okay, that makes sense, Sikandar. Ooh. For x equals right, total is times. Sikandar, I'm going to give you the other green one. That is excellent work. Because you figured that out and you've picked a number so high that you can't possibly have another number as high as that. Very good. Obviously, in your real code, you'll have to indent a little bit more there for under the 2 if statements, but that works. Okay, good man. Good man. And now you're on the extension. You'll need to also print out your lowest as well because you've established it, but I don't see you printed out anywhere. Evan not here? Yeah, Evan, you're here, but you haven't done anything. What's up, Evan? You need help or? Okay, David. Well, both of you are quite skeptical about our future climate. You know, I think probably 100 degrees centigrade would probably be plenty, but I like it. You've done just in case we're recording on another planet, for instance. You know, if we're doing Venus, you know, then maybe we'd have to go up to 1,000 degrees. So, okay, I'm with you. Evan, you there? Evan, how come you haven't done any of the actual worksheet, Evan? Because I'm looking at it and it's just empty at the moment. So the idea is once you've done the work, you can't view it. So I'll forward you. If you can't, is it because you're on a phone or something? Okay. What I'll do is I'll forward you. What did that send? I'm going to forward you the worksheet and you can watch it directly. And if you can't do it on your phone, here's what you can do. You can do it on paper, take a photograph and send that. So I'll look forward to you sending that to me. And if you want to have any assistance from it, you can go back to the YouTube, the stream, and find the bit that works for you, as in find the bit that explains it and talks about it. Thank you, Evan. Let's have a look at David. Oh, no. Apparently we're finished. I'm giving another minute while I finish You spell as badly as I do, David, and that sucks for you. Also, don't know if you can see this right now, David. My tip to you would be this. Oh, where are you? So on here, David, where you've used int for int in temperatures, I wouldn't use a word that's like a reserve word that means something like int or float to name a variable, because sometimes that can cause you. Okay, cool. All right, good. All right, let's have a look. What else? That works. I like it. Okay, and now you'll maybe figure out how to do lowest, maybe. Piper is not here. Nice one, Billy. And then here. On this one, that's almost there, Billy. The only thing I would say is that if you say it's the lowest is less than 10, it actually works on this set of values. But, you know, where maybe 1,000 or 10,000 seems extreme, at least it does mean that, like, for instance, if somebody now had a temperature of 12, right, and you're trying to find the lowest, if they were all above, let's say that was like 15, 18, 16, 19, and 20, right? Now the lowest would be reported as 10 or whatever. Yeah. So just be careful. You might want to go say 100 or something. So it's thank you, Billy. All right, guys. How are we doing for time? We've got 15 minutes. All right, I'm going to take what I'm going to do. I'm going to take 5 minutes to go over the code in case I try and do the answer ones. And what I'll do then is I'll leave you with the next question to do in your study period. Okay, so thank you, everybody. Thank you for having a really good attempt. Let's have a look about how we might want to do this. The lowest temperature, and I saw quite a few people do it. Essentially, for the highest temperature, we had a number that you're definitely going to be higher than. So whatever the temperature is, it's going to be higher than 0, right? In fact, I mean, in hindsight, you might say minus 100 because maybe there's negative numbers in there. I mean, it is temperature. For lowest, you want to flip it. So I don't have to use a new. So in this one, like I was looking in yours, Ben, you don't actually have to have a new for loop. You can all do it in the same for loop. And you can say if the temperature at position X, so whether that's 5, 6, 9, 10, whatever, if it's lower than the lowest, so the same logic, except now this time I'm going lower, then I'll set whatever that is to be the new lowest. And then this is the one place where you can have a slight issue, is what do I set as lowest? And if I set lowest as being 0, for instance, let's go through the thinking for this. We'd say temps at position X, well, X would be 0, so that would be temps at position 0, so that would be the number 5. Is 5 less than 0? No. So we won't change it. Is 6 less than 0? No. 6 less than 0? No. 9 less than 0? No. So you'll end up having lowest as being 0. So set it to something like 100. And then what would happen is 5 less than 100? Oh, I'm not sure you can actually... Oh, sugar, I'm sharing the wrong thing, aren't I? There you go. If you're on YouTube, you can see that. My apologies. Hopefully you can see that, guys. Better now? Sorry about that, guys. So I'm saying here that if the temp is lower than lowest, and I've set lowest, it will be 100. So I say is temp at position 0, it should be 5. Is 5 less than 100? Yes. So that become the lowest. So essentially that's the logic to get the lowest. And then the last thing was this extension. I think I might leave that as an extension for you guys. The only tip I would say is that essentially what you do is you'd have up here, you'd have another array, and it would be like Monday. Because it's strings, you have to put the speech marks in there, and then Tuesday, etc. You do the whole week, and then you do it that way. Okay, so I'll leave that for you to think about. Let's look at the next question. So the next question is this one. Ashley, so we're still in problem, now wants to be able to input temperatures for a new week. So where before you've inputted the temperatures, Now it's saying you should ask for each day. So please enter the temperature for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So you'll definitely need, to achieve that, you're definitely going to need have an array of all the calendar days. In fact, let me be a bit lazy. I'll say mon, tu, and Thursday, and then Friday. Okay, so you've got this. In fact, I'm going to just take all of this and we'll create a new REPL. What should we call it? Ashley input. There you go. So Ashley now wants to be able to input temperatures for a new week. Your temperature should ask them, please enter the temperature for a Monday. I'll say, right, I've been lazy. I'll fix it later. Okay. So at the moment, I'm going to set all of these to be 0. So they don't have a temperature right now. And your task is to ask for each day to input a new temperature on that day. Since there are 5 days, is that going to be a definite loop or an indefinite loop? You know it's going to loop 5 times, so it will be a definite loop. So it will be a for loop. Yeah, I agree with you, Henry. I agree. In fact, Henry, you've been working hard. You know what? I'll give you a greenie as well. Whatever that's going to be worth in the end, I guess we'll find out. So why don't I say this? I'm going to give you 5 minutes to try and write that logic yourself, and then I'm going to have a go at doing a demo. Remember, you want to put the answers into the assignment. We'll be continuing this. This week we only got the single, but you've got 25 minutes after this for your study time. And then we'll revisit it a week today. So I'll get this off. I'll put this up. What did I say? I said, I believe I said 4 minutes. I said 3 actually, but 4 will be about right. Give me time to show something. Okay. 4 minutes to try and achieve that. Okay, guys, it's about 20 seconds. I'm conscious of the fact that we're getting a bit low on time before the talk part of the lesson ends. So I think what I'll do... I really would, Sikandar, but I've got like 5 minutes to try and demo this. So, all I would say is, in fact, you know what? I deleted all the stuff last time. I probably shouldn't have done because actually a lot of it was useful. I mean, a complete plonker because it wants us to calculate the average, lowest, and highest as before. I should have just extended it. So I'm going to see if I can go back to it. Where was I? My REPLs lists. Please tell me it's saved. Okay, wicked. Okay, I've got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Brilliant. So in here, now it's going to say, instead of actually having all the values, I'm going to blank all the values to 0. And as it goes along during the week, I'm going to ask the end user to do it. Oh, you mean a demo, David, of this? David, do you mean a little demo to actually this? Yeah, I think I can do this in about 4 minutes. I think I can do it. So the question was, you want to prompt the end user to add in their own answer, okay? As in their own number. So you can say print. In fact, I don't want print. I want to actually store the value. So I would say input, please enter the temp for... Now, I can say Monday, but then every single time it will say Monday. Let's move that along, right? I want to do it so that it says Mon or Chew or Wednesday or whatever. So the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to say, I'll use string concatenation. I'll say plus days, because that's the name of my list with days, at position X. Well, in fact, I'll just print that to show you what it will do. Oh, I've buggered it a bit. My apologies. Yeah, please enter temp for, and then because it's not all in the same... How if I do it like that? There you go. It's please enter the... Oh, when I do this. Please enter the temp for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So that bit's going to work. But I don't want to just print. I want it to input a score. So I'll change that to input. And I want it to store it in my temps list. So I'll say temps, open square brackets, position X, like that. What's going to happen? Well, the first time around, X is going to be 0. So please enter the temp for days at position 0, so for Monday. And I'll store the result in position 0, so there, right? Okay, well, let's run it and see what happens. Please enter the... In fact, let's try that again. Okay, I'll say, I don't know, 10. Oh, do you remember this is going to be the issue where when it inputs it, what you actually, for the final thing for the lesson, because we've got about 2 minutes, what's the mistake I've made? So look at my code. Input the town temperature, store it in here. What's the mistake I've made? Can anybody see the mistake? So, days is storing strings. Temps is storing integers. When I do input, it takes the value in as a string, right? And do you remember you could fix that? How did you fix it? Beginning with C. Casting, thank you, Sikandar. So in here, I'll go int, open brackets, and I'll put all of that inside that int. And what it's going to do is it can take the value and convert it into an integer. Let's try that again, shall we? So this time, hopefully, fingers crossed, there we go. 19, 23, 10, 7. Did it work for us? Well, it says the average temperature is 13.6. Seems about right. Highest temperature was 23 and lowest was 7. So there you go. That works for us. So you're welcome to finish that one off. But this is actually, I was saying in terms of the independent learning. So that's because it's the time now. This is what I want to leave you with. You need to store the following list of names. You should prompt the end user for a name. So create an array, store all those names in it, ask them to input a name, and then if you say put in Ashley, it will say Ashley has been found. But if you put in, say, Wally, it will be found. But if you put in Dobby, it will say it's not in the list. Okay? So there's a little challenge for you. I'll leave that there for you guys. You want to probably, well, in fact, it's on your assignment, isn't it? It's on the questions down there on your assignment. So it's there for you. Thank you so much for taking part in the lesson. Sorry if some of the recording went a bit askew, but remember, you can refer back to this at any time. Oh no, thanks a lot for you guys, honestly. I've got my year 11 students who were sitting in this at one point. All right, yeah, honestly, pleasure, guys. I'll see you a week today. Please give that your best attempt. It's not straightforward. If it struggle, no problem whatsoever. Just give it your best shot. See you later, guys. Thanks a lot, guys. See you, people. See ya. Have a good day, guys.